good? We're good. Hey guys, Quinto M here, and welcome to Let's Play RFLEX. This is a game that, well, it's very difficult, one. It's also quite fun. It's kind of similar to Super Hexagon, but it's a lot, it's still pattern-based like Super Hexagon, but a lot more focus is given to quick reflexes, as you might tell from the name. I'm gonna go ahead, go through the levels, and I'm gonna attempt to provide some advice. Given the fast-paced nature of the game, though, it might come out a little bit incoherent. I'll try my best to offer some advice. There's 5 levels. The first is Amusement, the easiest, obviously. So, let's begin, I suppose. So how it works is you are the Pentagon, and the way it works is if you don't press any buttons, you will always go to the middle. And if you press one of the 4 directions, you will move in that direction. And if you press a combination, you'll go into one of the corners. If you... Okay, Alright. Let's focus a little more here so I don't mess up. And, yeah, so basically, as soon as you release... Oh my god, I keep getting patterns confused. Hang on. Let me get into this groove. I haven't played this level in a while, because it's level 1. Alright, we're good. So, basically, as soon as you release a button, you'll move back into a default position. And your goal is to survive for 60 seconds, which I just did, as you can see. Avoid the waves of things that continuously get faster the longer you survive. If you haven't noticed already, the block attacks that you get... There we go, it finally died. The block attacks that you get are... It's made up of a bunch of patterns, and the game just randomly chooses one of those patterns for you to dodge, and when you dodge it, it randomly chooses another pattern. So when you memorize all the different patterns, because there aren't that many, it makes it a lot easier, because as soon as you see the first element of a pattern, you know exactly what the rest of the patterns are going to be. So let's go over the patterns in level 1. There's either 4 or 5 patterns. I'll try to explain them. It's gonna be tough to explain them like as I'm playing. Like the best way to show them off is to show them off in the game, but they're not gonna come in any coherent pattern, and they're gonna fly by really quickly. So let's try. This is the simplest pattern. This is the simplest pattern here. Thank goodness it did it twice. This is another one right here, this is the same pattern, just rotated. And this is the simple one, the singles. This is Alright, this is already getting tough to keep up with. This is what I call the open gate pattern. This is the weaving pattern. This is also the weaving pattern. This looks like the weaving pattern, but it actually deviates from it. It's a partial weaving pattern, I guess. I'm just making these names up on the fly. This is the open gate pattern. These are the singles. So yeah, I guess there's only 4 patterns. They can come at you from any one of the 4 directions. But as soon as you see one, with the exception of the 2 patterns that... Alright, that was bad. With the exception of so yeah, each pattern is composed of either 3 or 4 what I call attacks, which is a bunch of blocks that spawn at the same time. and each pattern is composed of either 3 or 4 attacks. Most of them are composed of 4, but the singles, as you saw, was composed of 3. This is the singles pattern, that's 3, and then moves on to this one, which is the weaving pattern, which lasts for 4, and then it does the weaving pattern again for another 4. And this is the open pattern. These are the singles, and this is the partial weaving pattern. You don't have to use these names. If you think these names are stupid, I don't blame you. I literally just made them up in an attempt to explain them better. So once you see like the first attack of each pattern, you have, if not a complete idea, then at least a very good idea of what you're going to have to dodge. And that makes it a lot easier. And however, it does not take the entire challenge out of the game, and the reason for that is because of fast patterns. And which are similar. Basically, I categorize patterns into either fast patterns or slow patterns. For slow patterns, the first attack of a slow pattern doesn't actually force you to move. You can just stay still for the first attack. Whereas fast patterns, the first attack forces you to move, so you have to think fast. And the fast patterns are what keep the game challenging. Those would force you to really react quickly. As you can see, the open gate pattern, not fast. The partial weaving and the full weaving pattern, those are the 2 fast patterns for this level. And the good news is they're very similar. So as soon as you see this, as soon as you see the first attack of either fast pattern, as long as you can just dodge the other side, and you'll always be safe for long enough to be able to figure out which one it is and be able to dodge the rest of it. Yeah. Once you know the patterns, it's just a matter of reacting quick enough to the fast pattern and not being overly paranoid so you accidentally move into the slow ones. Because that is a very real possibility with this game. Getting overly paranoid is pretty much expected in this game. And this can cause you to move into a pattern where you don't have to move. Alright, I'm doing well. Let's see how well I can survive here. Alright, that's fine. So yeah, that's level 1. Only 4 patterns, 2 fast ones. And the 2 fast ones are very similar. So, yeah, it takes a lot of... Basically, the only time where you need to react fast is when you get any of the fast patterns. After that, it's just going with the patterns. Should I go with... I guess I'll do stage 2 now. This one's challenge. This one's a bit more difficult. But not too much. How many patterns? Whatever, let's just go over the patterns. As you can see, the singles is back, but it looks a little bit different because it comes from both sides. We got alternating singles. This is the toughest pattern you'll probably get. This is... I don't even know what to call it. As you can see, the partial weaving is back, but coming from both sides this time. Singles, and it doesn't really want to show the other one for some reason. This one, what the hell do I want to call this? The crisscross pattern, I guess. That's what I'll call it. This crisscross pattern is probably going to kill you the most, because things come from both sides tend to play with your head a little bit. See, the open gate pattern is back, but the way it's set up is a bit different. The thing is, the patterns are completely different from stage to stage. So you don't expect any of the patterns from a previous stage to be in another one. They're completely independent of each other. As you see, I got 57 seconds, which is good but not great. As you can see, the open gate pattern, you have to, in a sense, follow the gate. You look to where the first attack is going and dodge in that direction, or the opposite direction, that works too. And then just kind of flow with the rest of it. Yeah, you just do that twice and that's the pattern. This partial weaving pattern, you dodge it exactly the same way. Singles, you dodge it exactly the same way. The crisscross pattern is fast. It behaves just like the partial weaving, except it's a lot more difficult to see. And that's probably the pattern that's going to be killing you the most. So, yeah, I guess there's 4 patterns in this level, unless I miscounted. Here's one, the singles is another, the crisscross is the third, and this is the fourth. Yeah, so there's 4 patterns, 2 of which are fast, once again. Except the patterns are coming from both sides to mess with your brain a little more. And it's just like, I have to stress practice in this game, because it is very necessary. Like, you have to practice these patterns to the point where they become subconscious. Which is probably a little more obvious, given the fact that I'm able to commentate over this. Alright, let's put it in focus. There you go, that's that crisscross. That's the one I die on the most, at least. It's the trickiest, in my opinion. Level beaten. Let's keep going. Nope, see, that's that crisscross pattern. So yeah, that's level 2. And one thing I haven't explained yet is the grading system, which is the letter down in the bottom right corner. Basically, if you survive for less than 10 seconds, you get a grade of F. 10 to 20 gives you E, 20 to 30 gives you D, 30 to 40 gives you C, 40 to 50 gives you B, 50 to 59.99 or whatever gives you A, and then 60 seconds or above is S. That means you've beaten the level. Let's see. Do I want to do another level? How long has this been going on? You know what, I think that's enough for this video. Just something to kind of get the basics out of the way. Because stage 3 is where things get a bit more complicated, as you can probably tell from the little thumbnail on the level select screen. All the patterns that appear in the swirly pentagon in this thumbnail are patterns you will actually have to deal with. So it's a good way to get a little bit of a preview of the level. How much of a help it actually is, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, I think that's enough for now. If you enjoyed, feedback is much appreciated, and I hope to see you in the next video. So, goodbye.